Hi, it's Ramesha here with Vocal Bliss. Welcome. Today, I would like to talk a little bit about my story, how I came to singing, how I started singing. Not so much because I think it's particularly interesting, but just because I think it might inspire you if you are doubtful whether you can learn to sing, whether this is something that you can actually do. I hope my story will inspire you to see that it is possible, and you can and you should try. If singing is something that really gives you joy, you should give it a try. So when I was growing up, I was always having issues with my voice. Interestingly, I would often lose my voice. Granted, it didn't help that I was passionate about hockey and I would go to hockey matches and I was yelling all the time and then I would lose my voice. That was not a helpful thing to do. But my voice was just by nature a little weak and I would tend to lose it easily. And then I started to study music, and part of my studies was solfège, which, if you don't know what it is, it's about reading music and calling out the notes as you read them with the right rhythm and all that. But it was also sung. And my teacher noticed that my voice had something weird, that there was something about it that wasn't quite right. And so I went to a specialist and he found out I had nodules on my vocal cords. Nodules are little, more than inflammation, it's like a little swelling on the vocal cord that often needs to be treated with surgery, but he felt that because I was so young that it could be treated with simple, some cure that he gave me, and they did in fact go away. So then I was able to sing. This is when I was in my early teens. But then by my early 20s, I was really passionate about singing and I wanted to learn, but I just had no idea how. I had some friends who were singers and I would ask them questions, but I couldn't really understand. And my voice was limited, my range was limited. I wanted to have a wide range because I wanted to sing hard rock and heavy metal, and I wanted to really sing with a wide range, and I had no idea how to do that. And so at some point I got in touch with this woman who was a trained soprano. She lived in my area, and my mom knew her, so through her mom I was able to arrange for her to give me voice lessons. And that was a game changer for me. She was such a good teacher. She was really good. And she taught me everything. I took lessons from her for about 7 years. And when I went to her the first time, she said, I sang something for her, and she said, well, you know, your voice is really not in good shape. And we could do two things. We could either I give you a couple of tips and you can just improve what you have a little bit. Or we could just completely start from scratch and literally rebuild your voice. And so I'm a very thorough person by nature. And so I decided, oh, no, let's just start from scratch and rebuild the voice. And she did. And it was pretty hard in the beginning, you know, because when you've sung for a number of years, you have certain habits that are really hard to break. This is something I've been noticing also with my students. It's a lot easier to teach someone who's never sung before than someone who's sung, and you have to first undo things that are wrong and then rebuild and correct things. It's a lot harder. And this is what I experienced myself. And at first, she thought I was a baritone, which is you know, there's three different types of male voices. Bass is the lowest, baritone is in the middle, and then tenor is the highest voice. And I was a little disappointed because I wanted to be a tenor, because I wanted to sing those high notes. But then as I worked with her and I did the exercises, all of a sudden my voice started to unfold and I had this wide range and I could sing pretty high notes. And so I was really happy about that. But that came just as a result of the training. Even she didn't know what kind of possibilities I had when I first started, because as long as the voice is not developed, you don't really know. You just, okay, you just go step by step, and then gradually this whole range developed, and it was really good for me, and that's exactly what I needed. But and then since then I started also teaching. That was a little over 25 years ago now. And but what I realized that was really nice for me is that because I struggled so much to learn, I kind of feel like almost every issue that one of my students can possibly have, I had it. And so I'm able to help them more effectively that way. And I think that that's what really makes me so passionate about teaching, because I recognize, oh yeah, I know that. I think I know how to help you. And so this has been a little bit my journey. And then, after I sang heavy metal for a while, I got tired, and then I got a little older, and, some of these things go, and, they're just momentary phases of your life. But what I was left with was a voice that is very malleable. I can pretty much sing anything I need to sing. And my voice is responsive, it's kind of at my fingertips. I always warm up my voice. I always do exercises. By the way, this is something that you have to hear. For those 7 years that I studied with my teacher, believe it or not, I never, ever missed one day of practice. Not one day. Even when I was sick, even when I had a cold, I even had mononucleosis for like a month, I would not miss practice because I wanted to learn so desperately. And that was a saving grace, I believe. That really helped me. So I'm telling you the story because I want you to know that even when your voice doesn't sound good, even when, maybe you have issues with your voice like I had, you lose your voice a lot or whatever it may be, if you really have the desire to learn and the willingness to put some time and work and to learn, you can absolutely change these things around. And I encourage you, if singing is something that gives you joy and satisfaction, don't give up on the possibility of learning, because once you learn, it will give you so much satisfaction. I can't tell you how grateful I am every time I have to sing a song that I can actually afford to not really think about the voice. The voice is there. It comes out. I take that for granted. And I can just focus on the song, the music, this exchange of energy with the audience as I sing, which is so vital. And for me, because I now sing devotional spiritual music, to really feel that this is coming from a higher source and it's really not mine and it's really not from me. And that is very important for me as a singer, as a seeker. So I encourage you to look at this, and hopefully this will inspire you to just take the plunge and start learning and start really working on your voice. So thank you for listening to my story. I hope you found it inspiring. Otherwise, have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.